Discover the incredible journey of China's aspirations, 5 life-changing secrets revealed. Lucy Chen stood in front of her tiny kitchen window, flour dust swirling in the air like dreams waiting to rise. Her heart raced with excitement, simmering with the aroma of fresh pastries echoing the whispers of her heritage. For Lucy, baking was more than a pastime, it was an act of rebellion, a bridge to her Chinese roots, and a chance to carve her own path in a world that often dismissed her. Every time she cracked an egg or folded batter, she imagined her own bakery, a warm space where steam mingled with laughter, where people of all backgrounds could converge over her sweet and savory creations. But as she stirred the mixture, guilt gnawed at the edges of her vision, reminding her of the life her conservative parents envisioned, one filled with pamphlets on medical schools and the sterile corridors of hospitals. Deep breaths didn't ease the tightening knot in her chest. Her parents had sacrificed so much, leaving everything behind to lay down foundations of a future they could hardly imagine. With every meal they shared, she felt their expectations simmering alongside the dishes. "Lucy, you should be a doctor," her mother urged, brushing hands covered in sesame oil against her apron. The pride in her eyes was unmistakable, and yet, so was the disappointment whenever Lucy spoke of her dreams. As if the weight of 2 worlds wasn't heavy enough, the town echoed with invisible chains too. Once a booming steel town, it now wore its decline like a tattered coat. Empty storefronts lined Main Street, each shutter a reminder of what was lost, as families strained to make ends meet. At community gatherings, laughter filled the diners, but murmurs of discontent hovered beneath the surface, a constant undertow of doubt and skepticism. The townspeople were skeptical of Lucy, viewing her dreams as illusions. "Just another dreamer," muttered a man at the town meeting, his voice laced with disdain, silence falling over the crowd like a shroud. She had stood there, heart pounding, ready to pitch her bakery. "This bakery will not just serve pastries," she declared, tears prickling her eyes. "It will unite us, bring cultures together, create jobs." But the sneers echoed louder than her passion. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The doubt flooded in stronger, slowly entwining with her spirit. And then, amidst the sea of disapproval, she recalled her parents, the strength they gathered from each batch of dumplings made, every cake baked for a celebration, and every smoky stir-fry crafted with love. In that moment, a fire ignited within her. She would not only chase her dreams but empower others who felt overlooked. Lucy could feel the storm outside brewing, both in the heavens and within her heart. Yet, she stood at the crossroads, eyes wide open to the potential of her bakery. Would it be a beacon for change, a fusion of cultures in a town that desperately needed hope? The answer remained uncertain, trembling in the balance between her dreams and her family's legacy. The journey ahead promised trials, but with it, there was also promise. How could she create a new chapter that honored her parents' sacrifices while building a vibrant, new future for her community? The storm rattled against her window, urging her onward, but the call of bravery whispered louder still. The next morning, Lucy woke with resolve dancing in her chest. The storm had passed, but the sky retained a hint of gray, echoing her lingering uncertainties. She made her way to the kitchen and filled the air with the heady scent of warm bread. This was her moment, the first step towards her dream. After breakfast, she took a deep breath and slipped outside. The air was crisp, filled with the national pride of flags waving and parades marching down Main Street. Lucy squinted against the sun, watching as families gathered, their laughter ringing out like an anthem of togetherness. If only she could harness that spirit, transform it into something tangible, a place where everyone felt included, just like this parade. As the morning unfolded, inspiration struck, and her mind raced with ideas for her bakery. She began brainstorming a menu that reflected her heritage while also embracing the local palate. What if she combined traditional mooncakes with local ingredients? Or experimented with fusion pastries that told stories of both cultures? The thought made her heart flutter, but her enthusiasm was quickly met with a harsh reminder of reality. Lucy's mother was in the garden, tending to her herbs. The sweet scent of basil mingled with the soil, curling around Lucy's nostrils as she approached. "Mom," she said, her voice steady although her heart pounded, "I want to talk to you about my bakery idea." Her mother paused, wiping her hands on a worn towel. "Lucy, we've been over this. You know how hard it can be to make a living from dreams." There was love wrapped around her words, but also a thread of concern that Lucy felt deep down. "I know, but I've thought about it. I can blend recipes and create something unique. It can be a place for everyone, a community hub." Lucy's voice trembled, a nervous energy enveloping her thoughts. Community. Her mother's brow furrowed, skepticism shadowing her features. "That's nice, dear, but you have the talent for medicine. Your father and I made sacrifices so you could have a secure future." Tension hung thick in the air, the weight of generations crashing upon Lucy's shoulders. "But what about my future? What about my happiness?" Her voice cracked, emotions flooding out. Her mother looked taken aback, the moment stretching as if time paused. "I just don't want you to fail. I don't want to fail either," Lucy whispered, vulnerable. "But I need to try. I owe it to myself and to you for everything you've taught me about resilience and hard work." Silence fell between them, the kind that felt both harsh and necessary. Perhaps it was a turning point. With a heavy sigh, her mother hugged her, warmth enveloping Lucy like a soft blanket. They stood there, two generations molded by love, dreams, and the struggles of expectations. Later, as Lucy sat in her living room with her sketchbook, she began to draft a plan. Ideas flowed like her emotions, reckless yet hopeful. The vision of her bakery came alive on the page's blueprints included vibrant colors and an inviting atmosphere that welcomed everyone. But as she turned a page, a thought stumbled into her mind. How would she secure funding? How could she rise above the chatter of doubt surrounding her dreams? Just then, her phone buzzed, revealing a text from her childhood friend, Mia. "Hey, let's catch up soon. Got some exciting news." Could this be the lifeline Lucy needed? She felt the tightening knot of uncertainty loosen just a bit. Her heart raced again, this time with fresh possibilities. What if Mia's news was the push she needed to chase her dreams further? Gathering her courage, Lucy typed back, "Absolutely. Can't wait to hear all about it." With a mix of anxiety and excitement, she stared out the window, considering the storm that had stirred inside her, its winds igniting a fire she couldn't ignore. As she hugged the sketchbook to her chest, a single question lingered in her mind: what incredible twist lay ahead? And how would it change everything? The afternoon sun was dipping low, casting a warm golden hue over Lucy's neighborhood. She could still feel the tightness in her chest from her earlier conversation with her mother. It was a tightrope walk, balancing her dreams and her family's expectations. But in that moment, a spark ignited inside her. Perhaps Mia held the key to unlocking a world of possibilities. With a quick glance at her sketchbook, Lucy tucked it under her arm and headed toward the park where they had spent countless afternoons laughing and dreaming. The comforting familiarity of the trees and playful children tugged at her heart. She felt a sense of belonging, and that felt right. It was a tangible reminder that chasing dreams was not just about the destination but about the journey. Spotting Mia on a park bench, Lucy's heart swelled. Her friend had always been a beacon of encouragement. Mia jumped up upon seeing Lucy, her vibrant smile infectious. "There you are. I've been waiting," she chirped, pulling Lucy into a tight hug. "You look amazing." "Thanks. You too." Any worries from earlier melted away. They settled onto the bench, the sounds of distant laughter and music wrapping around them. "What's this exciting news you mentioned?" Lucy asked, leaning forward in anticipation. Mia beamed. I got a business grant. It's meant for new ideas in the community. They're looking for unique projects that promote culture and local involvement exactly like your bakery. Lucy's breath hitched. Really? That's incredible. But I don't know if I would even qualify. Of course you will, Mia insisted, her eyes sparkling with excitement. You have the passion and creativity. Just think about it. A bakery that merges cultures like mooncakes and cupcakes. People would love that. The thought cascaded over Lucy like a wave, awakening something she thought had been buried. A vision danced in her mind, her bakery bustling with loyal customers, laughter echoing, and a sense of unity glimmering in the air. What's the application like? She asked, heart racing. Mia grinned. It's straightforward. You pitch your idea, show how it'll benefit the community, and they'll review it. I can help you get started. Lucy's mind raced as possibilities flooded in. Funding meant she could take the first step toward making her dream a reality, a chance to weave her culture into the fabric of her community. But doubt crept in like a shadow, lurking in the recesses of her mind. What if they reject me? She fretted. What if I'm not enough? Lucy, you won't know unless you try, Mia said softly, squeezing her hand. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll grow from the experience. You have to be brave. Lucy felt a mixture of fear and courage swirl within her. This was a pivotal opportunity. She could either let fear hold her back or embrace it and push forward. A moment rose instinctively in her, one filled with a resolve she hadn't realized was possible just hours before. I'll do it, she declared, her voice firmer than she anticipated. I'll apply. Mia's face lit up with joy. Yes. Let's brainstorm this week. We can make this happen together. As they spent the afternoon creating ideas and talking excitedly about Lucy's bakery, the shadows of doubt faded further away. Laughter and lightness returned, filling the spaces once occupied by uncertainty. Yet, as the sun began to set, Lucy couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much bigger than she could imagine. Although she felt a rush of courage, a gnawing thought remained: what challenges might rise to meet her as she took this leap of faith? With her heart racing and her dreams fluttering alive in her mind, she whispered to herself, what am I truly ready for? The excitement lingered as Lucy walked home, her mind buzzing with ideas and visions of her bakery. Each step felt lighter than the last, as if the weight of her worries had been lifted, at least for now. The glow of the street lamps flickered on, casting a soft light that illuminated the path ahead. She imagined her future a bakery filled with the sights and smells of fresh pastries, tables bustling with laughter and conversation, a blend of cultures creating something uniquely beautiful. When she entered her house, her mother was in the kitchen, the sound of pots clanging filled the air. Lucy took a deep breath, bracing herself. The weight of her earlier conversation threatened to return, but this time, it felt different. She had a spark now, a glimmer of hope to share. Hey, Mom! Lucy called out. The aroma of jasmine rice filled the room, comforting yet daunting. Her mother turned, wiping her hands on a towel. Lucy, how was your day? It was good. I met Mia at the park. She hesitated, looking at her mother's expectant expression. Mia got a business grant for community projects, and I think I want to apply too. Her mother's face shifted, a mix of surprise and concern. A grant? For what? To start my bakery. Lucy blurted, her voice tinged with excitement and anxiety. Lucy, her mother's brow furrowed. This time, it didn't feel like a rejection but a cautious response, a protective instinct. Have you thought this through? It's a big commitment. I know, but I really think it could work. Lucy took a step closer, sensing the walls closing in. Mia believes in me and I want to create something special, something that connects people. I want to share my heritage. Imagine a space where everyone can come together, no matter where they're from. Her mother cast her gaze downward, the silence biting into Lucy's spirited hopes. The hum of the cooking faded, replaced by the relentless tick of the clock on the wall. Lucy's heart thumped steadily, each tick amplifying the tension. "Your dreams are important, Lucy." But her mother sighed, her voice softer yet edged with worry. "I just want to make sure you're being realistic. It's not easy running a business. What if it fails?" "It's also about learning," Lucy interjected, desperation creeping into her words. "Even if it doesn't work out, I'll grow from it. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Take risks?" Her mother looked up, searching Lucy's eyes, clearly torn. "I want you to succeed. I just fear the financial stress, the time it takes. We've seen businesses come and go." Lucy felt the weight of her mother's words but pushed through the uncertainty. "But what if it succeeds? What if this is my chance to bring something beautiful into the world? I want to be brave, Mom." Understanding flickered in her mother's gaze, but sadness lingered too. "You have your father's passion. But remember, we often shield those we love from hurt. I don't want you to hurt if this doesn't work out." "I won't if I don't try," Lucy replied, her voice steady but full of longing. Moments passed with emotions swirling, the kitchen's warmth contrasting sharply with the doubt hanging thick in the air. Finally, Lucy said softly, "So, will you help me, even if just a little?" Her mother let out a slow breath, the tension easing. "I'll help you, Lucy. I'm here for you, but know that I'll worry." Feeling a wave of relief wash over her, Lucy nodded. They were at different ends of the same rope, but together they could walk it. That night, lying in bed with her sketchbook open beside her, Lucy thought about her mother's words. What if everything she dreamed of came true? And what if her mother's fears proved right? As sleep began to pull her under, one thought lingered. Could courage truly blossom amidst uncertainty? Or would it falter against the challenges ahead? With these questions swirling, Lucy closed her eyes, wondering what would come next on her journey. Morning light crept through the curtains, softly waking Lucy from a night of restless dreams. The early rays danced on her face, urging her to rise. A mix of anxiety and eagerness bubbled in her stomach as she thought about the steps she needed to take. Today wasn't just any day, it was the day she would start laying the foundation for her dream. After a quick breakfast, she grabbed her sketchbook and slipped on her sneakers. The streets were quieter this early, and with each step toward the community center, her heart surged with anticipation. Mia was waiting for her, half leaning against a lamppost, a coffee in hand and a bright smile plastered across her face. "Lucy! You made it!" Mia exclaimed, her energy infectious. "Ready to dive into some serious grant application work?" "I think so," Lucy said, trying to sound confident. But inside, her heart hammered. What if she wasn't cut out for this? Mia wandered with her to a nearby bench, papers already spread out. "This grant could be a game-changer for you, you know." She pointed to the details laid out before them, each line scribbled with enthusiasm. "It's designed to promote community businesses, so you're perfect for it." As Mia explained the process, Lucy found herself nodding along, her worries gradually unwinding. They were brainstorming ideas and warming to the vision of her bakery when suddenly, Mia's face grew serious. "But Lucy," she said, her tone shifting. "You have to promise me something. Be realistic about your budget and timeline. You have to account for all the hidden costs that pop up. It can eat into your profits, and we don't want that." A knot twisted in Lucy's stomach again as she thought of her mom's warnings. "Yeah, I know, but what if I factor those in? I've got to believe in myself." "Absolutely." Mia's eyes sparkled with a mix of admiration and caution. "But remember, it's also about balancing dreams and reality. Don't let excitement push aside the numbers." As they continued discussing different sections of the application, Lucy felt her resolve strengthening. She spent the afternoon piecing together her vision, the ideas swirling with energy and possibility. Hours later, with pages flying in different directions and numerous coffee cups on the table, Lucy felt a rush of exhilaration. They were nearing the end of the rough draft when Mia brought up something she hadn't anticipated. "Have you thought about who your first customers might be?" Lucy paused, her pencil hovering over the paper. "I mean, everyone, right? It's a community bakery." Mia shook her head slightly. "No, I mean, the first people you want to target specifically. Those who will spread the word about your business. Think about who resonates with your story." As Lucy pondered, a sudden realization struck her. Her journey wasn't just about the baked goods. It was about connecting with the roots of her culture, inviting everyone to share in her family recipes, stories, and her own sense of belonging. "I think I know," she smiled, her heart racing. "I want to start with local families, those who come from diverse backgrounds like ours. It has to be personal." Mia grinned back, clearly impressed. "That's amazing. You've got this, Lucy. This is just the beginning." They wrapped up the afternoon and promised to meet again soon to finalize everything. As Lucy headed home, her thoughts raced. She felt a storm of excitement, but with it came a flicker of doubt. What if she couldn't attract those families? What if her vision wasn't enough to capture their hearts? When she reached home, she found her mother already starting dinner. The familiar scent of spices filled the air, wrapping around her like a comforting hug. As she joined her at the counter, Lucy knew the path ahead would challenge her. Her dreams had begun, but risk still loomed. "Mom, she hesitated. The weight of her ambitions nestled in her chest. "I think I've figured out how I want to start, but I need your help on something." Her mother paused, intrigued. "What is it, Lucy?" Lucy took a deep breath, ready to share the next step not just for herself, but for the bond they were beginning to forge. But what if her mother couldn't see her vision? What if she had to convince her all over again? Lucy knew her mom well enough to sense the subtle shifts in her mood. The kitchen felt still, as if the ticking clock was urging her to speak. "Mom, I want to open a bakery." She pushed the words out carefully, her heartbeat drumming loudly in her ears. "A place that feels like home, you know? With recipes from Grandma and maybe some new ones that I create." She watched her mother's brow furrow slightly, not quite the reaction she had imagined. "Isn't that just a dream, Lucy?" Her mom's voice was measured, serious. "Baking sounds lovely, but, do you really think that can support you?" "Mom, I believe it can. That grant application I was working on, it's for people like me, who want to contribute something meaningful to the community." Each word felt like an arrow, aimed straight at her mother's lingering doubts. "Lucy, baking is a hobby," her mother replied, the concern in her eyes sharpening. "It's not a steady job. You're going to need secure income. I just don't want you to be disappointed if this doesn't work out." "Disappointment?" Lucy hugged her sketchbook tightly, feeling the warmth of her dreams almost slip through her fingers. "But what if it could work? What if people love it? They could come for the pastries and stay for the memories, the culture. My vision can enrich our community." Her mom shifted slightly, her expression softening at Lucy's enthusiasm. "It sounds beautiful, but how will you pay the bills? The rent? Ingredients? You need to think practicality." That word hung in the air like the smell of fresh bread, intoxicating yet heavy with the weight of reality. "I will. I promise to account for everything. I just need a shot, and I'll make the business plan sound solid. I'll budget like crazy. I need you to believe in me." Lucy could feel the tension easing as she spoke. Her mother's features softened a bit, the little twinkle in her eyes giving Lucy hope. "I'm not saying I don't believe in you, honey. I just think it's important to weigh the risks." Lucy nodded, forcing herself to calm down. She wanted to show her mom that her heart was behind this, not just impulsive teenage dreams. What if we made a family day out of it? Do some testing back at the house? We can invite families and see what they think. It might give you something tangible to gauge. A trace of a smile broke across her mother's face. Testing with fruits and pastries, huh? I could help with that. But only if you're serious about this. I want to see that you've thought everything through. I have. I really have. Lucy couldn't contain her excitement. And I'll build a menu from Grandma's recipes. Baking has always been more than just flour and sugar, it's about layering in family stories, our history. Her mother finally straightened up, a teasing glint in her eye. So now it's a bakery come history lesson? If that's what it takes. Maybe we can even have community baking nights, share our stories together. The more Lucy spoke, the more her heart raced at the possibilities. Well, if it means more spices and late-night conversations in the kitchen, how can I say no? Her mother chuckled softly, shaking her head but unable to hide her growing smile. Lucy exhaled deeply, relief flooding her. They were on board, together. Okay, so can we get started on those test recipes this weekend? Her mom nodded, and for the first time, Lucy saw the flicker of excitement in her mother's eyes as well, but as they continued chatting and rolling out ideas, Lucy's mind raced ahead. If she got her mom invested, what would she need to do next to turn her dreams into a reality? The thought struck her, did she have what it truly takes to make this bakery not just a dream but a legacy? Lucy realized the journey was only just beginning, and the stakes were about to get higher. The weekend arrived with a burst of energy and nerves. Lucy could hardly contain her excitement as she gathered all the ingredients, her heart racing at the thought of what lay ahead. The kitchen, usually filled with the comforting sense of home, now buzzed with the promise of something new. Each packet of flour and container of sugar seemed to hold all her dreams. Her mother joined her early in the morning, donning her apron with a smile that spoke volumes. "All right, what's first on our list?" she asked, her tone airy but practical. Lucy brandished her sketchbook, pages filled with scrawled notes and doodles of pastries. "Let's start with Grandma's famous cinnamon rolls. If we nail this, it will be a perfect introduction to our bakery and my vision." As they worked side by side, Lucy felt a warmth spreading through her chest. It was more than just mixing dough, it was like stitching together a grand tapestry of memories. Kneading the dough felt like connecting with her grandmother, who had taught her the importance of family and tradition through the art of baking. "Do you remember her kitchen?" Lucy asked, glancing at her mom. "The way she would hum while baking, and the smell of cinnamon would fill the air?" Her mother nodded, her eyes shimmering with a mix of nostalgia and joy. "She always said, a home is only as good as the food it shares." "Exactly. And I want to bring that back," Lucy said, her voice firm with purpose. "To create a space where people gather, share stories, and feel a part of something bigger." As the dough puffed and the kitchen filled with a sweet aroma, Lucy's enthusiasm bloomed. They rolled out the dough, sprinkled on the cinnamon, and swirled it all together. But each folding motion felt heavy with the weight of her mother's prior concerns. "Do you really think it'll work?" her mother asked, her voice breaking the joyous ambience, though filled with genuine curiosity. Lucy paused, her hands resting on the countertop. "Mom, it has to. Not just for me, but for everyone who walks through those doors. I want them to feel at home." The oven timer chimed, drawing them both to the door. As they pulled out the golden brown rolls, they shared a look that conveyed more than words. It spoke of hope, struggle, and connection. "Let's taste one," Lucy urged, slicing into the soft pastry, the steam billowing up like an unfurled flag of victory. As she took a bite, the flavors whisked her away. It was sweet, warm, and bursting with memories, every bite calling to mind family gatherings and love. Her mother followed, and after a moment of silence, her expression melted with the taste. "Lucy, these are incredible," she whispered, wiping a tear from the corner of her eye. "It's like Grandma is right here with us." Lucy's heart soared. This was the moment she needed to prove her vision had merit, her dream could be a reality. We haven't even made the frosting yet. The pair laughed, and the tension that had once been thick in the air seemed to evaporate. They continued working, crafting more test recipes that filled the kitchen with warmth and laughter. Each successful taste brought them deeper into the rhythm of creation, but as the day stretched on, Lucy could feel the pressure creeping back in. She watched her mother, their shared joy woven with the reality of what lay ahead. They had recalls of laughter and sweetness, but she knew the challenges they still faced were lurking just out of sight. "Mom, what happens when we actually open?" Lucy asked, her voice suddenly serious. "What will we do then?" Her mother looked at her, the excitement momentarily fading. "We will hold our breath and jump, I suppose. One step at a time, right?" There it was again, the leap. Lucy's stomach nodded with uncertainty, but the pursuit of her dream shimmered brighter with every risk. It wasn't just about baking, it was a chance for something extraordinary. With determination igniting in her heart, Lucy realized the next steps wouldn't just involve recipes but also building a community around them. What if they hosted a tasting event in the neighborhood? What kind of impact could that create? Just then, her mother's phone chimed, snapping her out of her thoughts. "It's a message from the community center," she said, brows furrowing. "They're organizing an open house to encourage local businesses." "Lucy, this could be our chance." A surge of thrill raced through Lucy, but so did the gnawing anxiety. What if they weren't ready? Would families appreciate her vision? The questions spun around in her mind as she stared at the beautiful rolls. The journey had only just begun, but now, it felt as if a whirlwind was about to throw them into the deep end. The upcoming days would define her dream. What if this was the moment they had been waiting for? The following week buzzed alive with anticipation, each day feeling like a countdown to the community center open house. Lucy and her mother had worked tirelessly, testing recipes and refining their menu. The kitchen was now a whirlwind of flour and sweet scents, a perfect metaphor for the chaos and excitement swirling inside Lucy. "Have you thought about what you want to say when we get up there?" her mother asked as they mixed another batch of dough. The question hung in the air like the weight of the moment. Lucy bit her lip, contemplating the thought. "I guess I'll just speak from the heart," she replied, but deep down she was uncertain. What if her message didn't resonate? Her mother smiled gently. "That's the best place to start. Just remember, it's not just about the pastries. It's about what they represent: love, community, and shared memories." Lucy's heart fluttered at her mother's words. She nodded, trying to absorb the wisdom that shaped their lives. As they prepared for the event, a mix of excitement and dread settled inside Lucy. She envisioned families gathering around her future bakery, laughing and sharing stories, just like her own family had around Grandma's kitchen table. But the deeper Lucy dug into her thoughts, the more the anxiety crawled in. What if no one showed up? What if they failed? The night before the open house, Lucy lay awake thinking about everything. The flickering light from her bedside lamp cast shadows that danced on the walls, as if reflecting her swirling thoughts. She grabbed her sketchbook and began sketching ideas for the bakery, trying to visualize her dreams taking shape. Suddenly, she felt a surge of inspiration. With determination flooding her veins, she scribbled down notes for a potential special recipe: community cinnamon swirl. It would be a cinnamon roll packed with an extra layer of joy, a recipe crafted to honor the spirit of family and connection. The next morning, the air was electric with opportunity. Together, they loaded their car with trays of baked goods and heartfelt hopes, Lucy's excitement bubbling to the surface. "Let us make sure everyone knows who we are," she declared, and her mother chuckled. The community center was alive, colors and sounds blending into a vibrant scene. Tables filled with local wares, smiling faces bustling everywhere. As they set up their little booth, Lucy's palms felt sweaty, her heart racing. "Okay, breathe," her mother said softly, noticing Lucy's apprehension. This is about sharing our love for baking, remember? Don't focus on what might happen, just enjoy the moment. With a deep breath, Lucy smiled and took her place behind their table. Soon enough, people began to gather. Curious eyes peeked at their goods, and Lucy felt a twinge of hope. She offered samples of their cinnamon rolls, her voice shaking with enthusiasm as she explained their story. Each roll is made from love and memories, she said, with every word attempting to forge a connection. As the first bites were taken, Lucy held her breath. Faces lit up. Conversations sparked. Laughter erupted. Everything felt alive. "What do you think?" she asked a woman who had just savored a bite. "It's like a hug from Grandma," the woman exclaimed, her eyes twinkling with delight. Lucy beamed. The warmth she had hoped to create was blossoming before her eyes. Just then, her mother looked over, excitement painted on her face. "Lucy, look over there." She pointed to a local news camera approaching. "What? Wait, what do they want?" Lucy almost squeaked, filled with disbelief. "Just be yourself," her mother encouraged. They had never anticipated this kind of attention. As the camera focused on her, Lucy felt that tightness return in her stomach. But in that moment, surrounded by joyful faces, she realized this was her chance to share not just her pastries but her heart. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice steadying. "I want to create a space where love and stories come together with the sweet taste of cinnamon, where everyone can feel at home." What would happen next changed everything. Suddenly, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd as the local news anchor called for support for their dream. Each cheer sent waves of energy through to Lucy. She felt herself lift, if only for a moment, buoyed by the warmth of community. Afterward, amid the excitement and the happy chaos, Lucy caught sight of a few familiar faces in the crowd. Her heart sank. Would they celebrate her dream, or would their presence bring doubt? The day had been a whirlwind, but it was just the beginning. What awaited was still unknown: friendships, trials, and the truth of her vision. Could they keep this spark alive as they stepped into the world together? Lucy took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts as she prepared for whatever was to come next. The real test was yet to unfold. Would her vision for the bakery inspire her town, or would she face unexpected challenges ahead? As Lucy stood behind the table, surrounded by the warmth and joy radiating from the crowd, her heart quickened with an electrifying mix of hope and fear. But she pushed down the anxiety fluttering in her chest, focusing instead on the smiles and laughter swirling around her. The excitement was palpable. Families mingled, children laughed, and her cinnamon rolls slowly disappeared. She could hardly believe how well things were going. Those little pastries were more than just food, they were bridges connecting her to the community, smiles exchanged over soft dough and sweet frosting. "Lucy!" her mother called, waving her over to a group of enthusiastic diners. They were a family, the Roberts, known for their generosity and boundless spirit. "They want to know more about the rolls." Lucy couldn't help but smile wider. She rushed over, feeling the warmth of their kindness wrap around her like a cozy blanket. "I'm so glad you liked them." She beamed, her voice bright with excitement. "Loved them. The flavors really pop," Mr. Roberts said, taking another bite as his kids chimed in with their delight. "We'd love to see you at the farmer's market. You'd bring something special to the community." A Saturday stall? Lucy tasted the thought, her heart racing at the idea. It was a risk, but one that could propel her dream forward. "I'd love that. Thank you." As conversations flowed, Lucy felt her confidence surge. She shared stories behind her recipes, weaving tales of family hardships, hope, and the simple power of a warm cinnamon roll to bring people together. Each story was a thread binding her further into the fabric of her community, but just as she was riding this wave of enthusiasm, her excitement was interrupted by a sudden voice. It was Leah, a girl from high school known for her sharp critique and an almost unshakable air of superiority. Lucy's stomach twisted as Leah approached with a friend, eyes scanning the booth. "What's this? A bake sale?" Leah smirked, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "How quaint." "Actually, it's an open house for my bakery," Lucy replied, forcing a smile, trying to maintain her composure. Leah laughed dismissively. "Good luck with that. I hope you realize not every small town needs a bakery. Not everyone wants sappy stories wrapped in cinnamon." The words stung. They hit harder than she'd like to admit. Lucy swallowed against a wave of uncertainty. Would there be room for her dream in a world that sometimes seemed so exclusionary? Her mother, sensing the shift in the air, stepped in. "We've had great responses today. It's about creating something people can connect with, Leah. Not just flour and sugar. It's about community." Leah's friend shrugged, unimpressed, but there was something in the crowd around them that sparked. Murmurs spread as a few familiar faces chimed in with solidarity. "Exactly. Baking is about heart." An elderly woman piped up. Lucy's heart swelled. Her brief moment of doubt began to wane, replaced by the warmth of connection. Just as the joy had boosted her spirit, someone's negativity couldn't pull her down completely. As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden hue over the center, Lucy glanced around at her thriving booth. The laughter, the camaraderie, the palpable support filled her with renewed determination. Maybe Leah's words were just noise, not the final verdict on her dream. She was here, right now, making strides towards something beautiful. Just as she was about to dive back into the interactions buzzing around her, a well-dressed woman approached someone she didn't recognize. Her eyes sparkled with intrigue. "I heard great things about your roles. I'm with the local food magazine. Would you be open to an interview?" Lucy felt her breath hitch. An opportunity like this? It was beyond anything she had anticipated. The heady rush of possibility coursed through her veins. "Absolutely," she replied, excitement rushing to her fingertips. As she caught her mother's eye, Lucy couldn't help but notice the glow of encouragement reflected there. Everything was shifting, and she felt on the precipice of something monumental. But uncertainty nudged at her. Was she truly ready for the challenges that lay ahead? As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Lucy stood at the edge of a brand new beginning. She was at the heart of her dreams, ready to forge ahead in a world full of possibilities. But would this spark ignite a fire or flicker out in the first wind of adversity? The days rolled forward, each one filled with anticipation and whirlwind activity. Lucy could hardly believe that her first big weekend at the farmer's market had finally arrived. A gentle breeze caressed her face as she set up her booth, the sun rising with promise around her. The scent of freshly baked cinnamon rolls mingled with the earthy smell of the market, wrapping her in a warm embrace of hope. With each customer that approached her stall, nerves turned to excitement. Families started to gather, drawn in by the colorful display of pastries and the heartfelt stories she shared. Her heart soared with every bite they savored, their smiles bringing the vision of her bakery, her dream, closer to reality. "This is amazing," murmured a local dad, his eyes lighting up. "It's like you opened up a piece of home." But beneath the surface, the flicker of doubt still flickered. How long could she sustain this energy? What if people only came once? Just as self-doubt began to creep back in, Mia appeared by her side, breathless and gleeful. "Woohoo! Look at this crowd. You're a hit." Together, they high-fived, strength and confidence radiating between them. "Thanks to you. I don't think I could have done any of this without your encouragement," Lucy admitted, feeling a warm connection fill the space. Mia's eyes shone with pride. "You're the one who took the leap. Just remember, it's about building that community you always dreamed about." Later that day, as Lucy packed up her stall, the smiling faces of patrons lingered, their laughter ringing in her ears like a sweet melody. She hardly noticed the passing of time until her mother called, waving with excitement, a small bag of fruits in hand. The local farmers loved your cinnamon rolls and want to collaborate. What? Really? Lucy exclaimed, her heart fluttering again. Collaborative ideas swirled in Lucy's mind like frosting being expertly piped over a warm cupcake. What if they did seasonal flavors inspired by local produce? Could a simple bakery evolve into a community movement? Her mother shared details about potential partnerships, and with each word, Lucy's excitement soared higher. Here was the fusion she craved, where her vision mingled with the heart of her community. But then, the weight of her parents' concerns seeped back in. Did everyone truly believe in her dream? Were there still hidden obstacles waiting to uncover her vulnerabilities? Those thoughts shadowed her for a moment, but she shook her head, pushing it back. This was not a moment for hesitation. Weeks passed, and the farmer's market flourished. Lucy's confidence grew each time she witnessed the joy her pastries brought to families, each roll, each cookie a thread woven into a tapestry of connection. The culmination arrived on a sunlit Saturday, an event fueled by local pride. Her community was determined to support small businesses. As she arranged her booth, the memory of laughter and inspiration came rushing back. "I can't believe we're doing this," Mia exclaimed beside her, adjusting the colorful banners hanging around their space. "Think of how far we've come." Yet, there was still a pit of nerves in Lucy's stomach, a gnawing fear of what might come after the applause faded. What would happen when the initial excitement dulled? It was all a game of vulnerability, pushing through uncertainty to reach tangible dreams. But as people flowed to her stand, she reminded herself this was what she had envisioned. "Lucy." A familiar face emerged from the crowd, and it was Leah again, but this time, something unexpected broke through. She wasn't alone. The very same friends who had sneered before now surrounded her, their eyes flicking curiously over the booth. "I heard about your bakery, thought I'd check it out," Leah said, her tone less biting than before. "So what's the big deal?" Lucy took a deep breath, steeling herself as she smiled widely. "This isn't just pastries, it's about creating a space where stories are shared and communities come together. Would you like some cinnamon rolls?" Leah's eyes softened as she hesitated before nodding. "Sure, why not?" Lucy handed her a roll, subtly challenging the stereotype Leah embodied. But Lucy felt the tides change. As the girl took a bite, her eyes widened, surprise blooming into genuine enjoyment. "Okay, that's really good," Leah said, the sincerity breaking the tension buzzing around them. The day rolled on as families shared stories about their food traditions, Lucy weaving her dreams into spoken words. It was exhilarating to see skeptics transformed, if only in the moment a sense that maybe, just maybe, she could encourage acceptance and understanding through what she created. As dusk settled and crowds began to dwindle, Lucy looked around at her booth, absorbing the sense of belonging that wrapped around her, intertwined with love, community, and laughter. They had achieved more than just baking together, they had created a real feeling of connection. "I can't believe this worked out so beautifully," Lucy whispered softly to Mia, who stood beaming beside her, pride radiating from her every pore. "You did this," Mia said, grinning broadly. "And your mom? She's so proud." Jenny, standing nearby listening in, nodded enthusiastically. "We're all proud of you, Lucy. You've lit a spark in our community." With overwhelming emotion filling her chest, Lucy felt her worries drift away, 1,000 sparks igniting inside, resonating with sheer possibility. Together they gathered, laughter spilling over like warmth from an oven. As they cleaned up, Lucy's gaze drifted across the square to see families bonding, laughter ringing in the air, her heart now rooted in unyielding hope. With warmth wrapping around her like a soft blanket, Lucy understood the journey was just beginning. There would still be valleys and peaks, challenges and breakthroughs. But in that moment, the dream was real, and she had her community to hold her up. With hands clasped together and joy spilling over, she couldn't help but imagine what lay ahead for her bakery in a world that embraced all flavors of life, and knew this was only the start of something magnificent. You need to subscribe now to catch the next chapter of Lucy's journey. Don't wait not even one more second to share this story with 5 friends who could use some inspiration. And leave a like now to fuel the algorithm. We need your support. Comment below your favorite moment from Lucy's incredible transformation. Let's celebrate her journey together.